Where are you up against?
We're all the way up in the sort of cornered, like we're by as if you're going to
One, two, testing. Good evening, everyone. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to approve the agenda for the business meeting of tonight, of September 15, 2025.
Kelly and Jim.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I'm going to move this over to accolades, and we have newly tenured faculty and new hires, and I would like to turn it over to Michael Bennett. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you for all of you who've come out here this evening. As a superintendent, as a leadership group, as a Board of Education, this is one of our brighter days where we get to recognize those folks who have earned their tenure here at Greenville Central School District. And I know some of the folks who have earned that tenure have come from us from other school districts because they wanted to be here. And we've got a number of new faculty and staff that we would also like to welcome as new employees in joining the Greenville family. We had the opportunity to meet some of those folks over the course of the summer when we had our new teacher orientation. It was a great way for them to spend a few days here on campus and get to work with us, and we got to work with them a little bit. So tonight, because there's a long list, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, for the purpose for the Board of Education, is I would like to slowly read through both the tenure and the new hires. And if you hear your name, if you could just please stand and be recognized. So, and thank you for coming early for some of those treats. There's, I said to a few people, take seconds, because if they don't, they end up coming back to the district office, and then that doesn't work out well for us. So. All right, so first I want to talk about, congratulate our newest tenure folks, and we'll start with Danielle Overbaugh, Kelsey Brady, Jen Brown, Kylie Conley, Rebecca Crawley, Linda Doherty, Liz Ferenzi, Jamie Gunter, Erica Hamilton, Elise Karuski, Monica Lundy, Jen Payne, Rachel Hall, Brooke Schrader, Leah Silliton, Jill Snyder, Gina Totora, and Jen Zay. So our new hired faculty and staff members, they include Kathleen Brown, Megan Hale, Bethany Dollard, Michaela Egan, Robert Gossman, Jessica Lasasso, Valerie Lewis, Crystal Maurer, Bill McCloskey, Regina Peterson, Lauren Ruff, Nicole Schmitz, Laura Schuler, Sandra Seberg, Megan Sneffen, Lisa Tavey, and Andrea Tracy. So again, it means a lot for you folks to take a little extra time in your day to be here and be recognized, and not only for us here tonight, but also for our YouTube folks. We're really excited to be able to welcome you and congratulate all of you. So this is a time that if you did not want to stay for the entire meeting, feel free to exit and don't be afraid to take a snack on the way. That would be awesome. And thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't see too many people leaving with plates.
They're in my purse.
All right, then I'm going to move us on to our open forum. And the Greenville Central School District wishes to facilitate public access to meetings of the Board of Education and to provide an opportunity for public comment at these meetings. Accordingly, the open forum provides an opportunity for members of the public to share thoughts about topics on the agenda. An individual's comments shall be limited to 5 minutes. Additionally, comments may be emailed to the district clerk, Daphne Pearson, using the email pearsond@greenvillecsd.org. In order for an email to be read during the meeting, it must be received by 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting and state that the email is to be read out loud. Emails shall be limited to 600 words. Please note that this is not the time to register complaints that need to be addressed confidentially through the proper channels. Remarks that might be considered defamatory, obscene, profane, stigmatizing, or otherwise impermissible in public forums are prohibited and will be declared out of order. Board members actively listen during open forum, but may not immediately respond to comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak? So then just come up to the podium, state your name for the record and for the recording.
Okay. Thank you.
Even though some of us know you. If you press the button, the gray button, because we can hear you, but the recording cannot.
Okay, I've pressed the gray button. Okay. I'm Margaret Kelly, and I just wanted to say how exciting it is to see all those new faculty. And what's really interesting to me is the number of faculty who are Greenville grown who are coming back. I mean, they have many other options, but they're choosing Greenville, and I think that says a lot about the school district and how well things are going. And so congratulations to the board on being able to welcome this exciting new staff. I don't know how many of them were my husband's former students, but there were more than a few. So anyway, but yeah, so it's just very exciting. I was pleased to see that, so thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, then I am going to move us on to the presentations, and we have the administrators who are going to talk about the opening of this new school year, 2025-2026.
Yeah, so as they make their way up to the table, Margaret, thank you for pointing that out. It is one of the things that we kidded a little bit about is that our new faculty and staff orientation often spends time getting people up to speed on what Greenville's all about, and I think 90% of the folks who were hired were, in fact, alumni, so it made it a little easier to do some of those things. So yes, we'll have our building principals talk about the opening, how things went, and when they are done, I'm going to ask Todd just to kind of give an overview of the things he supervises as well. So I'm not sure if you guys took turns and rehearsed who was going to start. But, oh, all right.
It's not often that Brian lets me go first. So at the high school, we are off to a strong start. Students and staff have settled in quickly. Classrooms are already buzzing around with engagement and energy. Teachers are setting clear expectations and they're building strong connections within these first 8 days of school, which is vital. While our support staff has been instrumental in ensuring a smooth opening. They've been very instrumental in helping with the new cell phone mandate as well too. Our current enrollment at the high school is 320 students. So like I just mentioned, the implementation of the new cell phone mandate is underway. Overall, we've seen many positives. Classrooms are focused, there's fewer distractions, students are engaged more with teachers and peers. During one of the faculty meetings, I have asked teachers, like, what have you noticed the most? And teachers have responded, the kids are looking at me. And I'm like, yeah, that's a big difference. But as expected, there were some challenges as well. While most students, I feel, are adjusting well, a small number are showing some resistance to the change, and it is a very, very big change for our students. So we have some students who experience anxiety, and they're typically relying on music. So we've come up with some alternative ways, hardwired headphones into Chromebooks to help listen to different music applications that students can get through the web. Help them through the transitions, and we'll continue to communicate with families and work closely with students to help them adapt to our new expectations here around cell phones.
Chris, are you seeing differences among grades or anything as far as the change with the cell phones? Is it across the board? Just curious.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's across the board. There's some, I know Brian finished his code of conduct talks, and so have I. And one of the things I've asked students is, raise your hand if you miss social media the most, or like, what's the first thing you do when you get your, like when you have your phone at the end of the day? Is it, social medias or music? The majority of the kids, I was shocked at how much it was music over social media. But, I think, I know when I went in to do the code of conduct talks, I did, I got to my own horn. I thought I did a good job of sharing, like, okay, this is the mandate, this is the big pieces of the mandate. Here's what our Board of Education came up with our policy. Here's what's in our code of conduct. Here's the consequences. And here's what, or actually I think I did the consequences first, and then here's the what is prohibited per our code of conduct. And when I talked about like why we are doing this, not only because it's a state mandate, but where that state mandate came from, that, like the intention, or the lack of engagement, the mental health issues that are associated with constantly being on social media. Students, I feel like were a little bit more receptive to that, and I think when you explain where all this came from, and the majority of them did know that it was coming from the state, so I think that was helpful. But no, we're not seeing any specific bubbles at any grade level or any specific grade level. I think there's just some students that really relied on their cell phones for whatever, whether it's security, whether it's for today, like anxiety, getting a hold of parents very quickly. It's just, I think there's just a range of reasons why kids are being a little resistant.
And what about the flip side as far as parents being able to reach? Have you noticed a significant uptick in calls to the main office?
To be honest, I've been so busy, I haven't asked the secretaries that. I have heard a couple students come down and ask to use the phone, but again, in my code of conduct talks, I even said to students, if you ever needed to use like my office for a personal phone call, if you didn't want it to be out in the open, you could do that. You could go to the counselor's office as well too. We would find you a quiet space if you needed. And even some of the teachers whose classrooms I was pushing into to do these code of conduct talks have offered their classroom phones as well too. And if it was a free a prep period for them, they would go in the hallway so that the students could use. So I think everyone is realizing we have to support the students because it is a big, big change, very big change. Did I mention that? Big change.
Okay, my turn. I'm going to ask Brian the same question, so you can just address later. But I know there's the graduated steps of consequences.
Mm-hmm.
How far has it gone? Do you have any repeat offenders at this point?
I've had 2 at step 2. I've had about 2 handfuls, maybe 12 at most that have gotten to step 1. And part of it is really just, like, not that they came in late, but they came in, our attendance clerk is checking, but if there's multiple kids coming in, it might have just been like, I forgot to ask you, it really has been like shocked, like, I forgot I had it, or I just didn't lock my pouch, or, something as simple as that. So I shared with Tracy a little bit earlier too, there's been no issues with, your phone needs to go down to Mrs. Horgan's office. Students have been great about that, been respectful, like when they have Heather's phone out, because I think they realize this is the norm for everybody. And it helps too that it's not just here, that it's across the state as well too, because I think there's no one in a different school texting their friends during the school day either. Others? Brian's itching to share.
All right, good evening. So on September 4th, we welcomed 267 students to middle school this year, up from 239 last year, but our cohorts are pretty consistent with 92 in grade 6, 87 in grade 7, and 88 in grade 8. As you saw tonight, we have great new staff we've hired this summer. Our teacher orientation this summer, I think, was just very, very enthusiastic. People were very excited to, one, be here, and just their enthusiasm is just, I can see it carrying over into school already. So it's really nice to see the transition they've had coming from our teacher orientation into the start of the school year here. We did our annual locker day on August 27th, and on September 2nd, on August 27th, for our 6th grade students. This is, I think we find it very important every year for our students to kind of come in and just really get acclimated to the locker, take a walk around. They have their schedules. We had new lockers this year too, so they're a little different opening, but everyone figured it out. You know, and just it's always just great to see the excitement as they walk in the building. And there's a lot of older siblings that come and help support their sixth grade siblings, so it's always nice to see them in here. We've continued to, the students have been back in the building is a great thing, and to support with our PBIS thing of be kind, be responsible, be the best you can be. We talk about, again, if you can do that every day as you walk in the building, you'll have a great day. And then that leads into talking about our code of conduct, which we do every year. And I thought discussions went well. I go into all the PE classes, so you know, I've got anywhere from 15 to 20 students at a time, so I do the code about 11 times, 12 times. But it's worth it, because I feel like you kind of a really genuine conversation with students. We talk about building safety. My big thing with the students with cell phones was just thank you, because this was about 3 or 4 days into school when I did the talk, and they've done a great job transitioning. I have not had a single adult come to me yet with a student having a cell phone out in middle school. So, wait till tomorrow. But, you know, that's the one thing that I've just really been very impressed with our students and how they've transitioned that, and I think they've embraced it well. They're very good in the morning when we transition in. I think we have smoother routines going on with that in the morning and at dismissal. There's really not any holdups with that, so that's a good thing. We will start grade level assemblies next week on cyberbullying. Again, so just trying to hit a lot of those things as they've heard it. They're good refreshers every year. You know, because the one thing we did talk about too with cell phones is, you know, they still are at school after 2:45 with cell phones. You know, so we still have to talk about all the rules and cyberbullying and things like that to make sure things like that aren't happening. Looking forward to our open house next week on the 25th, just getting our families in and meeting a lot of them. This summer, our BLT, as you know, has been working very hard. In the past couple of weeks, we've been talking quite a bit about just our action items to get going here for the start of the year, and we will be updating more of that in November at our presentation at that time. And just lastly, a big shout out to our buildings and grounds crew for doing a great job this summer of really making our building sparkful when the students are having the first day, and it still is. I mean, it's a pretty impressive, you know, as you are here all summer and see the stage, you're like, oh boy, are we going to get there? And every year they do. So kudos to them, and let's give them a round of applause, please. Questions? Kelly, you had a question? Did I answer it? All right, perfect.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Going to fill you on what's new down at Ellis Elementary School. We're off to a great start. Thought I'd start with some fun events that have been happening in and around campus. We had a fantastic turnout Friday night for our PTA-sponsored Welcome Back event. Hundreds and hundreds of folks there back behind Ellis on the playground. We had some bouncy houses, some food, some ice cream. The reptile guy came. Very fun. Just a great community event. So that was a good way to kick off the year. This week we have a couple open houses. Tuesday night we have grades 3, 4, and 5. Thursday night is grades 1 and 2. The following week we will have our Spirit Week, followed on Friday by our Field Day, which is always a fan favorite. And then a couple weeks after that, Another popular event, our Fire Prevention Day. So lots going on at Ellis. I did want to touch on just a few instructional highlights of the early school year. First and foremost, I want to talk about the full implementation of our Bookworms curriculum. It's been going great. What I wanted to highlight there was the coaching support that is in place. I think that is something that has really helped our teachers acclimate to the new program. We have both in-house coaching support from our fabulous ELA coaches, Michelle and Laura, but also continued support externally from the University of Delaware with a coach that is going to be working with us throughout the school year. So I think if you pull the teacher aside and ask how it's going, they would tell you that they feel supported, and I think that's very important as we start something new. I also would like to mention a brand new space that we have down at Ellis, which is the brainchild of our technology coach, Tanya Fricke. We are calling it the Collab Lab, short for collaboration. This is going to be a flexible, STEM-centered space where teachers can come take their classes and do some hands-on learning. So we're still in the early stages, but there is a lot of energy and creativity surrounding this. It's the old Room 90, if you're familiar with the setup of Ellis. We will shortly be doing some planting out in the courtyard there. We're going to be utilizing that space a little bit more. So that's very exciting for our teachers and our students as well. And then lastly, I wanted to mention the new social emotional learning curriculum that we're going to be implementing this year, which I have mentioned before, but I feel like it's important. It's called the Zones of Regulation. It's something that our counselors have used with our students in the past, but we have always kind of stopped short of rolling it out school-wide. And so our BPS team members will be pushing into classrooms and doing individual lessons with classrooms to help students really kind of do a deep dive in terms of their social and emotional learning. So that's very exciting as well. I was asked to share a few challenges from the early year. I had a tough time coming up with a few, but if I had to put my finger on one, I would say not having access to our new gym quite yet has been a challenge, but we've been very, very lucky with the weather cooperating. We've been outside for PE, and the good news is that work, my understanding, is starting this week and should be done shortly, so that's promising as well. Hopefully we'll be in there soon. And like any new school year, we have quite a few new students to us this year, and I think that we're just taking some time to get to know those students, to get to know those families. You know, I always look at that kind of optimistically as an opportunity, and so we're really, really excited to welcome those new students and families to Greenville and to Ellis. Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess we don't.
Did you keep the turtles? You
Um,
might have to explain it, but I'm pretty excited.
No. So we found, I wish I had a photo to share. Last June, we found, amidst the paving that was going on behind the new gym, we found a snapping turtle laying eggs. So we got some caution tape and sectioned her off, and thought that was the end of it until Friday morning when someone came running into the office and said there's dozens of mini snapping turtles. So we did. I checked with Tanya Fricke today, so we rescued 20 snapping turtles, 18 of which survived. It's pretty good. They were released to a pond off campus. We will be having a turtle in our new Collab Lab. It will not be a snapping turtle, so you don't have to worry about fingers and toes. Yes, a very exciting adventure with the snapping turtles.
That's so cool.
I would like to just offer some opening of school from the perspective of food service, transportation, and B&G. So I'll start with food service. Off to a great start. We are, again, part of the CEP program, which is the Community Eligibility Program, which is the program that allows us to offer free meals for all students. Getting some numbers from the kitchen today, as of end of day today, we've already served over 7,100 meals. So when you think about, it's 8 days of school, but we've served 7,100 meals already. Almost on par with last year at this time, which was about 7,200. So a little down, but for the most part, right there. Also, from food service perspective, we are fully staffed, which is a good thing, because frequently we are looking for folks in that area, but as of right now, Tracy and her department is fully staffed and off to a great start. From the transportation side, also fully staffed, which I don't think I said that, and this is my 3rd year in this role. The first time I think I can actually say that for that department. With that said, we have a couple of drivers with some health concerns that are out for short periods, but we do have everybody filled in terms of those positions. Over the first 7 days of schools, this was as of the end of the day on Friday, our buses have already traveled over 7,000 miles. So again, just putting things in perspective of how much happens so quickly, just on a daily basis, everything going on, those miles add up quickly. A positive that was shared from Mary when I checked in with her is we did a time shift that had the greatest impact at the elementary school in shifting the start time and end time in the day. Part of that was around the time the students were spending on the bus, so elementary students were getting on the bus at the elementary school, having a little bit too much time between then and when they would come to the high school, pick up middle school, high school students, and then leave to go home. There was a little extra time there that was creating some issues. So drivers have been very appreciative and have felt the difference in that. So students are on the bus for less time in the afternoon. They're noticing a positive difference. So that was a lot of effort went into that. I want to acknowledge that and offer up the appreciation from the drivers. And last but not least is B&G, which I know we've talked a lot about, and the board had the tour of facilities last week. So a lot happens over the summer, but also just then what happens every single day throughout the entire school year. I know Rich kind of got put on the back burner because there was just so much happening to get the buildings ready and going. So he and his team are working through some of those items to kind of get caught up with some things that maybe got put off just a little bit with everything else going on. Just a little data, I always like these numbers. So the square footage of our district, when you put all the buildings together, is over 230,000 square feet. So that's, if you think of a 2,000 square foot home, that's 117 2,000 square foot homes that our B&G crew takes care of on a daily basis. In addition to that, they oversee 80 acres of property. So every day, all the work that they put in is tremendous. In Rich's realm in B&G, we are currently short 2 staff members that we are actively recruiting for and are working through that, and we'll have those positions filled hopefully in the near future. But overall, strong start from the 3 departments as well.
Great.
I have a question on the
Go ahead.
numbers. The 7,000 miles so far, is that just the daily runs?
That is everything.
Everything.
So that's totaling up every mile that every bus has done from the very first day of school through Friday. This one she gave me those numbers.
Okay, so unless we have other questions, then thank you very much, and it's wonderful to see the start of the school year. All right, I'm going to move us on to discussions. We have several items here. The first one that we have is the capital project update, and Mike will be providing some information on that one. So let's start with that.
Yeah, so again, since we just had the tour of facilities on Monday, there's not a lot that happened between last Monday and this Monday. And as you also heard, the biggest piece that we're really working on right now is getting that Ellis Elementary School gym ready. We did have the owner of the company come back and talk with us a week or so ago, and it looks like they're just going to sand down some of the areas that are of concern, some striping that needs to be redone. So that work will begin this week. The rest of it, we have continued to do some stuff in the boiler room during the course of the day. To get that, we should have that up online on September 19th. We should be good to go with that boiler, and then there is some work with the board's approval with some monies that we had in contingency. We were doing second shift to be able that we were able to get some additional work done. So it's kind of where we're at right now with all that.
There was a question about air conditioning units for the music room and kind of the level, could it negatively impact on the sound? So I just wanted to bring it up because I wanted to have a discussion amongst everyone for that. I guess in my mind, does it make sense to put those units in there? Is there another option?
Again, I think that one of the things that we've got to take a look at is some of those air conditioning units. I know sound became an issue in regards to it being too noisy. We do have light similar air conditionings in some of the other rooms. We're yet to hear of any issues around noise being a factor and people not being able to hear. And talking with Schoolhouse, and as they went back and took a look with the contractors, felt that given the money and the time where we're at, the solution for those rooms seemed to be the most practical at this time. And sound is not really a concern for those spaces.
But I guess my issue is they're the music rooms. If any of the rooms are going to be sensitive, would we be better off waiting and using year-end funds? I'm throwing it out there because now is the point to have the discussion. And Jim, I need you to chime in here because you're the expert on this.
Well, for me, the comparison for the other window units, it's not apples to apples because that space is 600 to 700 square feet, whereas the window units in the classrooms are much smaller, so the decibels are much smaller, so I wouldn't compare the two. For me, we're going into the fall, so the need for air conditioning is not necessary, and I think it's personally the wrong choice to put a window unit in those spaces. I think to put a split or a modulated system would be a lot quieter, more efficient, not only in power, and we get return on that for the energy consumption, but it also gives you a heat type option, whereas the window units do not. It makes the room more efficient. So for me, honestly, I think the window units, I would vote not to just put them in, especially right now. I think it's more of I think we need a smarter choice in those spaces.
I have a couple of questions on it though. Number one,
Microphone.
it's on, sorry, it's just not over far enough. I guess my questions would be, we need to be assured that, number one, I believe I believe I understood correctly that we have to work within the means or the companies approved because it's a capital project through state ed, we have to work with certain companies or whatever. Does that also mean that doing the work outside of the capital project would be an issue if we wait to use year-end funds? Do we have to go through the process of getting approval or anything like that from state ed?
It would not require approval from state ed. It would depend on the cost that would be estimated what it would be. So it would likely have to be some type of bidding process because it's going to be beyond the threshold of just being able to go. It's beyond Rich and his crew just going and doing it. It would actually be contracting with somebody to come in and do that. So to do that within the current capital project funds, like that ship is kind of sailed in terms of timing and the project and closing out. Like that ship sailed at some point a couple months ago in terms of getting into the project itself. If we did it at a later date, it could be in a future project, which was also part of the conversation around the table when we had this with our architect in the schoolhouse as a construction manager was, okay, for a short-term solution, we can put in window units, which is fairly inexpensive. And then in a future project, look at, okay, for these spaces, is there a more long-term solution? Was the idea behind where we're at currently.
I guess my question is, I don't want to throw good money after bad. So just in the sense of, it sounds like the air conditioning units that are going in, we're not getting a deal on them. They are expensive for that. So
The window units?
the window units are $12,000.
No, the window units for those rooms have already, we purchased them at the end of the year when we were purchasing other window units to replace them and get additional for the district. We purchased these. It's already purchased. Rich?
Like $1,000.
Yeah, it was under 1,000.
So what's the $12,000 number that it was thrown out?
I don't know. That was not for the purpose of window units.
Well, for mounting them and everything else, so forget, you know, the cost of it, I'm assuming that it was within there. There was a number that it was $10,000 to $12,000 to install those units versus $15,000 in order to get whatever they're called, the heating and everything else. And so I guess my concern is more, we have seen with capital projects, we bid everything, and then if we go back and it's something that we didn't necessarily anticipate, which happens all the time, my experience as an observation is sometimes the number that is quoted is a little bit higher than if you went outside. So I am concerned if to put something in that solves it in the very short term, but comes with unintended consequences and an impact on the sound because the room is 4 times larger than a classroom. Right? I'm seeing a lot of issues. So do we just put it in and then rip them out later on? I mean, that's what I'm trying to avoid for that. So if it's 1,000 units, right, you know, 1,000 of us per unit, I would rather hold off, having spent $1,000, than to incur another additional $11,000. So
We can get the cost for installation, the 12,000, I do not know that number. That's,
you know,
I think
well,
the
it's
other
not
night.
that conversation because there were numbers. I didn't make the number up.
The other night, I think it was mentioned that the mounting and install was $2,500 per unit without the unit cost. The electric needs to be done on either, it's the same circuit capacity size on either choice of what type of unit you're using, so that's a wash. My issue is at a 25,000 BTU unit, you're actually, for a window unit, you're close to undersized for that space. However, with a modulated unit, you can go with an 18,000, which is even less because it has more capacity. So I think we're also using more energy, everything else, not only the decibels and everything else. I just think we have time to make a smart decision for this, and we don't need to just spend the money to have a knee-jerk reaction. It's nice to have the air conditioning, but we're in the fall. We're not going to use it until next year. And it does bring up some other issues because it's not a long-term solution. That's my take. I think we should possibly look at other avenues. And it was mentioned the other night that it was a balancing issue within the building, and air conditioning load, it's going to be an issue on both sides. So that's not a concern on either one. So, I mean, for me, I think we just need to make a smart decision, and like I say, not quickly spend money just because it's easy to do now because of timing. And both units are available. I know from what you're saying, it's already been purchased, but the other units are available for the same time frame as well. I've checked, and they're available.
I think my biggest concern is the sound. These are music rooms, and if the air conditioning needs to be turned off because the teachers can't hear the kids, or the kids can't hear the music, then it's self-defeating.
but we have had air conditioners, window units in the other music room, and that was never a concern. That's never come up as an issue over the past year, having window units in the other classroom. So I also just want to mention that when we can certainly shift course and do something different, but a lot of time, this is not a knee-jerk reaction, I just want to make sure that everybody understands. There was a lot of conversation at the table when we had our weekly meetings over the summer and even back into the spring of looking at the contingency funds that we had in the project and what was the best way to use those funds, and all the conversations that happened around potential air conditioning in the new gym and the 2 music rooms because it was not in the project. There was conversation between our architects, our engineers, schoolhouse's construction manager, the contractors that are doing the work in the project. So all those conversations happened back and forth with a lot of different thoughts and professionals coming together to put together what they thought was the recommendation. That's how we got to where we are currently. Again, not that we can't shift course, but I just want to make sure the board understands this wasn't just like a, knee-jerk reaction of like picking something, let's do it quick. No, when we backtrack to probably May or June when some of these conversations started, it led to where we are now after a lot of thoughtful conversations.
All right, and I will apologize for poor choice of words. I don't mean to imply that it was a knee-jerk, okay? So that was not my intention. I guess where I'm just concerned is sometimes there can be unanticipated consequences. And so it was when we did the walkthrough and we asked questions and, kind of saw the unit and everything else, this was one, something that was raised. And so I guess my question is, my comment is, before we install it and everything else, how can we confirm that the noise level is not going to be an issue? That's really, to me, what it comes down to. So if someone can confirm that the music rooms the kids can hear the music in the music rooms, even on a hot day, then I have no issues with it. So that's really my concern.
We could look at the noise of the new machine. I'm sure there's readings on all of those types of things versus the old machine that was in the old room, because it is a different size, so there might be a different noise level to it. And then we can also certainly check. I would want to get hard numbers. I don't have them in front of me, what the installation and all of the pieces would be for that.
Right, and ideally, kind of more central air is more of the long term. That's not an option with this capital project. That is a reality we are willing to accept for that.
I'm going to add to that confirmation. I would like there to be a music teacher present. Because I understand classroom teachers may not have complained. I'm not saying we do have another option right now, but just so that they're aware that's their space, they have to function in it, and they know best what they need to work around.
Absolutely. And Janine Rockwell, who's the department chair, we've kept her in the loop about this as it's evolved over the past month. So absolutely, I'll rope her back in.
I'll just add to this. I guess I'd like to know also with all of the other things, what is the life expectancy of the new units? And again, it would be like the sound is going to be, the manufacturer will have some guess at it, but we're looking at 3 years. And then what happens to the structure? Because they're not like I open my window and I slide the unit in and close it. There's construction happening, right? Like the window has to be removed. I'm guessing.
It's a fixed window that would be removed. We would keep that window. We own it. It's our window.
For later.
Have it, so if we ever swapped it back out, we would have it.
Right.
So yes, it's not a window that you're just going to slide open.
There's extra.
There's a little bit more work to
Additional
it.
work, yeah. Okay.
And is that work that our buildings and grounds team does?
No, that would be in the project.
So that AC is staying up there all year?
Yes.
Does it come with a cover? That's another question then now.
We're not the experts. All we see is the can of worms. I don't want to create the impression, in the overall scheme of the capital project,
This is a very small piece.
here,
That is
and
very true.
it's at the end, and I really want to keep it into perspective. Everyone has done a fabulous job on keeping everyone on schedule and everyone updated and everything else. So please, I want you to know that from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, we're not trying to nitpick. We're trying to understand so that when something happens, like we've had happen with past projects, or something goes wrong, or something's a complaint later on, we can say we've done due diligence. That's all.
Understood.
All right, then I'm going to move us on to board goals and objectives. And I need to open up the attachment in here, so let me just get it. So basically, to give everyone an update, what we did was the board met and we went over looking at the goals that we wanted to establish for the year. Kind of in keeping, these are some of the things that the Board of Ed is going to be focusing on and working together just to make the school the best environment possible while still staying in our lane. So these are the elements kind of related to what a board does. In looking at the goals, one of the first things we wanted to do is we wanted to align it with the curriculum, culture, and community. In every presentation all the time, we see those three pillars. And we thought that it really made sense in framing the goals and what we are trying to address to put it into those three pillars. And it was there in our minds, but by putting it down on paper, we organized it that way. So under curriculum, one of the things we said was we took and prioritized three efforts that we know are critical and kind of to the school environment, the educational environment, and will be impacting Greenville. So those three, we thought that we would highlight them. Obviously, improved reading, EV buses, and portrait of a graduate. Those are three key elements that are happening and will be happening in the short to medium term. So we said, all right, so all of us as board members, these are key issues facing the local educational agencies, that's us as school, and school boards in New York, and drive the priorities for the school. So as board members, anything we can do, additional reading, webinars, just information, to garner more information and a comprehensive understanding of those three topics, because the more we understand, the more questions we can ask. We can challenge some of the ideas and elements that are behind it. So really, that is something that each one of us will be doing. Then under culture, again, no real change. It's fostering a culture of transparency, accountability, and analysis on the board. So that is a change from last year, just in the sense of how we organized it. And here we have is that this will be accomplished by reflective conversations. All members will be participating in this. Number two, understanding the role of the BOE. What is ensuring that all members remain in their lane, and that we're not duplicating efforts with the administration. We also have attending orientation, so newer members, meeting key individuals within the school in order to develop a more comprehensive understanding. Mariah's going, I think you've already started your orientation and meeting with members, good. We also have number 4, exploring best practices for efficient meetings there. And then number 5, requesting mid-year and final year reviews. So these are things that are ongoing and so forth. And then finally, under community, there is a commitment to regular and rigorous analysis in the practices of and performance. And so there, what we're looking to see is, are there other more effective communication vehicles that we can use in order to communicate with the community? You know, we've tried different things, whether it is the coffee and chat that we've added in and layered on, and the more that we can do to engage with the community and everything else, then it helps us become more effective board members. So this document, I believe, is in board docs and available, but
I just have one correction to it. Dave should be listed with me on the communication.
okay. Find effective communication vehicles. Daphne, if you could, can you add that in? I think so, I shared it with you. If not, let me know, it's on Google Drive. Any thoughts or anything on that? I really like the idea of, and Kelly, it was a great idea for taking and just kind of rearranging it so that it is consistent with the 3 pillars the way all other documents are. All right, then I'm going to move us on to, let's see, we have committees. So Mike, you and Kelly, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Well, hello, Kelly. Yeah, just a couple of things that we need to make sure that we have our committees filled. Right now, we're still looking for a Board of Education member for our policy committee. So that is someone here, hopefully will decide that they want to be a part of that. For some of our other communities or committees, looking for on our district level team meeting, look for support staff and student. Generally, we've had high school students involved in that in the past. Building level teams at the elementary school, still looking for a parent and a student. Usually a 4th or 5th grader is involved in that as well. Middle school, support staff and student. High school, support staff and student. We're good on the calendar committee, district safety council, looking for support staff and a parent. Health and wellness, looking for a support staff member for part of that. Our district facilities committee, also looking pretty good there, just looking for a student. Maybe we can tap into some of our high school students who are involved in some of our Quest Star programs, if it's something that they are interested in doing, to be there for that. Technology committee, again, a support staff or a parent community member. Those are the openings that we've currently got. Kelly, I know that you've attended. Did you attend it?
I did attend a BTSA meeting last week, so I was able to kind of share with them some of the opportunities there. I was not able to make it to PTA though, so I do need to get in contact with their officers and let them know. The one thing we want to be careful of is that we have representation on some of these from different buildings. So I want to make sure that we get to the PTA, those elementary parents,
Yep.
and give them their opportunities to sit on some of these committees.
Great.
So if anyone knows of anyone that wants to be on a committee, then who would they contact? Okay, then please contact Daphne. There we go. All right, then I'm going to move this on to action items. I'm going to combine 7.1 and 7.2. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the August 11th business meeting and the minutes of the September 8th business meeting.
Kelly, second. Mariah?
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the finance reports for the month ending August 31st.
Kelly, need a second. Mariah?
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to accept the Committee on Special Education recommendations.
Jim? Kelly?
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the personnel agenda.
Jim? Kelly?
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to accept the resignation of Angela Moriello, Board of Education member, effective August 18th, 2025.
Kelly, second. Mariah?
Any discussion?
Just for transparency's sake, I just want to, I just want to be transparent to the community and make sure that everyone's aware this is kind of the start of a conversation for us as a board in terms of what we're going to do about that position. I know there's already been a question as to what discussions we've had. We have not had any yet, and we will be exploring our options and seeking advice, I think, from here, right, Tracy?
Yes, we've asked our council to lay out the different options for that. Any other questions or discussion points? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the building level emergency response plans for the 25-26 school year.
Jim? Mariah?
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to accept the fire reports.
Kelly and Jim?
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the intermunicipal tuition agreements between the Greenville Central School Districts and Vernon Knox Westerlo, Carroll Durham, Voorheesville, and Wyndham Ashland Jewett Central School Districts for the 25-26 school year.
Jim, Mariah,
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the transportation agreement between the Greenville Central School District and a district resident parent for providing transportation to and from the Deborah School located in Brentwood for the 25-26 school year.
Kelly, Mariah,
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the updated breakfast and lunch rates for adults as of September 1st, 2025, per the New York State Child Nutrition Management System.
Jim and Kelly,
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the textbook American History Connecting with the Past.
Kelly, second Eric,
Any discussion? I think that we saw the physical copy at the last meeting. Yeah, and it's right there. Yes. All in favor? It had to have been there. We need a motion to appoint the membership for committees.
Kelly, need a second, Mariah,
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the surplus items.
Jim, Kelly,
Any discussion? Aye.
thank you.
Good, all right. Okay, good, all right. I need a motion to accept the donations for the Greenville Central School District. We have the Educational Foundation donated $28,400 for the Foreign Language Fund to be used in support of foreign languages. We have the Rotary Club of Greenville, New York donated school supplies valued at $500, and Tommy Fricky donated a glockenspiel with a value of $200 to the music department. Do you have the first and second?
Yeah.
Any discussion? I'm going to abstain since I'm with Rotary and made the donation.
I have to
Two,
abstain then
three,
because we're
four.
gonna have to separate it out because I have to abstain for GEF.
All right,
But Jeff, do they have to, because if they're part of a team and it's not self-serving?
who asked council? Council. Are we allowed to vote?
Council was wool gathering, so what is the exact reason to
All
abstain?
right, so we have 3 donations.
Yep.
All right, one of them is the Rotary Club. I'm a member of Rotary. I personally brought the bag, I bought the stuff, was reimbursed by Rotary, and dropped it off for Greenville to be used as they wanted.
But you're not making anything off this personally?
No.
All right, you have no need to abstain. It's not a conflict of interest.
And the
Okay,
other one is
great.
the Greenville Education Foundation, which I am a member of, and I voted on the donation, but it's not my personal money.
As long as you're not making money, or your spouse or a child living at home, it's not a conflict of interest, so you can vote.
All right, so we can
And
vote.
problematic, abstentions are a no, so if I'm doing a head count, you don't have enough. then-
That's the issue, that's why we just asked you to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to help.
We really appreciate the clarification,
I'll
and
leave
it's
it.
all for a great cause.
All right, so we have Eric and Jim.
Okay, so any other questions, or I'm gonna have the vote? All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. All right, so topics for discussion at a future meeting. I have to get my pen.
Yes, I have one. I believe you've mentioned it before. I just want to make sure it is still on the calendar to have Tanya come and speak to the board about some of the AI things that are being done in the district, how it's being utilized, and educate us a little bit on that.
She will be doing a presentation at our October meeting.
And then the other thing, I know it's really not the right place, but hi Nicole, we're really glad you're here.
Yes, I thought at the beginning we were going to introduce you. But you see, if it's not written down, Nicole, then it just.
I was
So,
supposed to do that, that is my mistake. I apologize, it will.
but you know what? Thank you. So we would like to introduce our student representative on the board. Nicole, you want to just kind of just give a Well, you obviously just said hello, but just tell us a little bit about yourself and the viewing audience for that.
We weren't you.
All right, so the first thing to do is you're gonna press the gray button. Cool.
Hi, my name is Nicole Chase. I'm a senior here at Greenville. I'm excited to be here.
What made you kind of interested or decide to do it?
I was just interested in hearing more things about, like more things from the community about school. I feel like as a student, it's pretty closed off of what you hear about what's going on in school and different opinions on things. So I just wanted a broader perspective on that.
Wonderful, and I think that it's fabulous to have a student perspective. We encourage you to share, as you can tell. We're not afraid to voice opinions and everything else, and really work together as a team to find the best solutions. So that's only possible as we hear the different perspectives, and you're representing a very valuable perspective. So welcome, and all you have to do is hit the gray button. Thank you. Anything else so we just have the AI presentation. Okay, just a couple of reminders. Our next business meeting is October 6th, and that is slightly out of order because of the Columbus Day holiday. So just please make a note in your calendar. Then I'm going to move us on to closing open forum. And please note the same guidelines apply as stated during the first open forum. Is there anyone that would like to speak?
I would not for speaking in open forum, but I do, before we go on to the next thing, I didn't want to control the discussion earlier, but I wanted to share this information on the air conditioning. Is when we talk decibel levels, that's a way you record the level of noise. So window units at 25,000 BTU and range anywhere from 58 to 70 decibels across the manufacturers. And at 25,000 BTU for a window unit for that size room, they'd be undersized if you were above 85 degrees outside. So it would be on 100%. With it at 100%, just to let others know, so at 68, 70 decibels, that's equivalent to like running a vacuum cleaner. 60 decibels is considered a conversation, and 30 is a whisper. A split system run 28 to 30 at 100%. So that noise level in a room, even though it didn't impact or something, it's also undersized for the capacity, so when it does get warm, it's going to be running at 100%. So I just wanted to share those numbers with people, so we have that. Thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate it. Then I need a motion to adjourn to executive session to seek legal counsel, advice from our attorney who was here in addition to the abstaining rule for that. If I could have a motion.
Eric and Kelly.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you, everyone.
Big treats. Big treats.
Yes, please take some treats, they are fabulous. Take some home, give some